Hello, and welcome to the Psychology of Prosperity. I'm Monica Maria, psychologist for your soul, guiding women on a mission to confidently lead from their internal wisdom versus relying on external sources to define your vision of success. And today I have for you the astrological intuitive birthday reading for Libra. If you were born between October 13th and October 22nd. My mom actually celebrated her birthday last week. So this is so fun to do because I am looking at her and also being like, yep, this makes sense. So if you're Libran, you know that you are ruled by the planet Venus. And so this naturally just makes you super focused on harmony and balance and beauty and aesthetics. My mom actually loves moving things around the house. She's all about interior design, but just this feeling of aesthetic and balance and beauty and harmony. And, Libra is the sign that rules over the seventh house, which is all about partnership, committed partnership, one on one, intimate, as well as business partnerships. And so I'm actually going to be focusing this reading for you, Libran, not only on this focus on partnership, because of the influence that we had this year that came via three of the four eclipses that were on the Aries Libra axis. So there's a lot that has to do around the self and relationship and that balance and that harmony. And I'm also going to be highlighting these astrological intuitive birthday readings, the deacons. Now, if you've never heard of deacons, I think that they are so cool because they really add another layer of dimension of understanding of the energy that rules you specifically. So I'm actually going to pull up a little visual for you. I'm a visual learner and I like visuals so that you can see what I'm talking about as to what are the deacons exactly. So what I'm going to show you is a copy of my chart, my natal chart. This is actually a whole sign chart, which in essence just takes a sign and distributes it evenly throughout the chart. And I'm going to look over here at Libra since we are talking about Libra. And you're going to see these lines over here. Now, if you're, a seasoned astrologer or know astrology well, you know that this refers to the degrees. And if you don't know that, well, now you do because I just told you. But basically, there are 30 degrees from beginning to end in the sign. And so this whole sign chart is distributing this evenly and putting each sign in one house. And so these 30 degrees are evenly divided into three sections, which become the three deacons in a sign. And now I'm going to switch on over to this chart that breaks down, and I'm going to look at Libra over here, which is traditionally ruled by Venus. And here are the three deacons. Now, this one doesn't have the degrees lines, but it is breaking down the sign of Libra into these three equal sections, which represent the three deacons. Each one of the deacons, which correlate to the dates. And so I'm actually talking about October 13th to October 22nd. These dates are now influenced. Anyone born in these dates has an overlay of an influence by the planet Jupiter. And so that's what I'm going to be basing your intuitive birthday reading on. And again, I mentioned my mom, her birthday was October 17th. Now, Librans ruled by that Venusian energy, Venus is the ruling planet of Libra, you naturally have this affinity towards beauty, towards art, towards love, right? Since Venus does rule over this energy, also Venus loves the finer things of life. So maybe as a Libran, you know that you really do value beautiful things, quality things. Venus also rules Taurus. Taurus is known for really liking luxury, Librans as well, right? But there's an overlay of the influence of Jupiter in your birth date because you are born in that last decan, which has that Jupiter ruling. And so I find it interesting because Jupiter is very optimistic. It is also expansive. It has this connection to vision since the planet Jupiter also rules over the third eye chakra, which is all about being able to see and having a bigger vision. And my mom is just like this, like she's super optimistic, born on October 17th. And so this is the energy that also rules you. Now, I do want to talk about like where Jupiter is right now. It happens to be in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is also an air sign like Libra. And so there is a focus or an influence around many ideas, like having many thoughts, maybe thinking about how you want to shift things in your life, maybe in your business, in your work, in your career, like thinking about exciting new projects, exciting new ideas. And also because we just had in 2024, 3 of the 4 eclipses were on that Aries Libra axis, this focus on relationship is big. And it's not just for you, it's for the collective, but especially for you, since you do rule over that energy of intimate, committed relationships, which also relates to business relationships. Think clients, bosses, anyone that you're interacting with on a long term basis is going to be highlighted. Now, in the sign of Gemini, Jupiter, it kind of like highlights for Jupiter even like more ideas and just also like this excitement around wanting to learn maybe even more, maybe wanting to travel, maybe wanting to be influenced by different places and spaces and people. And so Jupiter takes 12 years to make its way around the whole zodiac wheel. It spends roughly a year in each sign. It entered Gemini on May 25th of this year and will hang out in Gemini till June 9th. So this is going to be a big influence for you in this next 12-month cycle. Of course, it's always great to know specifically what is highlighting what is your theme for this next 12-month cycle by looking at where is your sun, like what house is being highlighted in your solar return chart. And if you're curious about really knowing like what is the theme for the next 12 months for you personally, as well as what is the emotional focus based on where your moon is hanging out, and what are the influences, the other planetary influences of the aspects, then be sure to check out the solar return chart. There's a link below. So back to Jupiter in Gemini and what it means for you. It's going to be there for most of this next 12-month cycle for you. So I really want you to think about what is it that you want to maybe start to learn, or what have you learned already that now you're ready to start teaching on, speaking on, really like stepping into that role of the master teacher, which Jupiter also has that influence, being the natural ruling planet of Sagittarius, which is that continuing education teacher, that philosopher. And I want you to really ask yourself, what would feel really freeing and expansive to you? Like what lights you up and makes you feel really optimistic about your future? Because that's the energy of Jupiter. That's what is overlaying that influential energy for your specific birthday. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about are these eclipses that occurred on the Aries Libra axis. Now, Libra being all about committed partnerships, relationships, business relationships, clients, intimate relationships. And on the polar opposite, we have Aries, which is really about the self, your individual desires, your aspirations, how you see the world, what are your priorities. And this is really a focus asking you to balance. Now, Libra you represented by the sigil or the symbol of the scales, you are a master of understanding energy as it pertains to balance, to harmony, to peace. What is it that you need to feel at peace? How do you balance between your needs and what you're perceiving to be the needs of the other? I feel like this is a time for you to really look at your committed relationships, those intimate relationships, but also those relationships, those long-term relationships that you have with your clients, and ask yourself, are there boundaries that you need to set up, new boundaries? Check in and see the way that you have set up your working containers, if you have your own business, or just looking at how maybe your current career is supporting you around really giving you what you need to nurture yourself, versus also how you're showing up to the responsibilities that you have, and the way that you nurture other people, really looking at what types of relationships maybe are ready to shift for you. What types of relationships are you ready to leave behind? What kinds of relationships would really benefit you, would really support your continued evolution? And also that would play a role in allowing you to really step into either learning, teaching, having those new ideas turn into projects. Maybe this could be a call for collaborating with new people, or ending some collaborations that maybe have come to I'm going to say, their cycle, their end cycle. Although three of the eclipses were solar eclipses, meaning that they're new moon eclipses, meaning that they're pointing to new cycles, new beginnings. And so this is really about telling yourself, acknowledging that you are entering a new phase, and really focusing around how can you balance between giving yourself what you're needing and being able to show up and give to others. So this is about receiving and giving, focusing on self and focusing on the relationship that you have with intimate partners and business relationships as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a change in the type of client that you're attracting, the type of client that you want to be working with. If there's a change in even in and I'm going to say this is not so much friendships as much as it is more so intimate partnerships. How does this allow you to have more direction in your life, especially because Aries and Libra are cardinal directions on the zodiac wheel? And so this has so much to do with, hey, what direction do you want to take when it comes to yourself, your aspirations, your desires, your goals, and as it relates to the direction that you want to take with those committed relationships. Now, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, I do want to speak about Mars and its influence, as it is now currently in a water sign of Cancer. And so Mars being a fire sign, this is a weird place for Mars to be. It's really learning to actually be more patient, to take its time before being impulsive and just like leaping into taking action. The guidance is really to connect in with the intelligence of your heart. What is your heart guiding you to do? What do you truly desire? And how can you allow yourself to trust your intuition and to act from a place of inner knowing versus responding to external influences that might be pushing you to be impulsive and take an action? Remember, this is about you really putting yourself first, and to harmonize what is it that you really need? What are you requiring to feel that you're really moving forward? And I do also want to say that there is a highlight with Libra and the south node of the moon being at Libra, and also letting ourselves be guided by what our past experiences have been around relationship and how that can support us to have healthier boundaries and to really set up these new beginnings as it pertains to maybe clients, and the direction of what you're needing to really nourish yourself. So I would love to hear your thoughts on how this has resonated. How does this speak to you? If you would love to tap into more of the personal themes for you for this next 12-month cycle, really understand your emotional influence with the moon and the aspects of planetary positions for this next 12-month cycle for you, then be sure to book your solar return chart. Till next time, I will see you soon.